Okay. Hello, it's October 1st. I'm Steven Lazarus, CPA. This is administrative documents updates from the Texas Comptroller's Office. So, what we're going to be looking at is mostly, uh, as you can see behind me, items that are in the register. Short of it, nothing too interesting there. And number of hearings, policy documents. I will note, so this covers September. September 1st is the start of the new fiscal year. So there are uh, documents associated with updating of statute. That's not going to be covered in this video. Maybe another video, but not covered in this video. Additionally, there will be a number of publications at the end associated with sales tax holidays. Uh, those holidays are not upcoming. They either just passed or like 6 months away. Um, may cover them at a later date. This is mostly going to be a large number of hearings and a couple policy documents, as well as this little bit of register stuff. So, switching over to it, so we've got all of the September stuff. So, September 5th, 12th, 19th, as well as I think in the back, yeah, we've got the 26 here. As usual, the make sure missing invoices are taxed. That is from a hearing in the future that we'll be looking at. Comptroller, nothing in the 5th. Next, still got the comptroller. Nothing in the 12th. Next, comptroller accounts. There's the local tax rate changes. Go ahead and click that, or we'll go back briefly and just say, hey, this new education thing, yeah, that's irrelevant, so we're not looking at it. Here is from Jenny Burleson, the quarterly tax updates. So there's a couple ways this information is presented. So one, there's this PDF that goes in the register. No fanfare. It's not even a titled document. And it's just listing, hey, there's this new tax rate effective this day. And then at the end, it'll give you some specific notes about, okay, this ESD is here, what have you. So that information is provided that way. It's also provided through the SIF system in a CSV, so you can just download it and have the most up-to-date items. That is definitely the preferred way to actually do it instead of using some PDF, but that's the core of that. And then this last one, this is the 26th grant program thing. I don't care. So that basically nothing in the register about the Texas Comptroller for September. Now looking at new records in September, search. So there's a ton of new records, ton of new records. We're only going to look at sales tax, but just noting, hey, since we had a legislative session earlier this year, a lot of the changes to taxes became effective September 1st. So that's what we're saying here. Okay, so we've got this sales and use tax, and I'm going to just scroll down quickly and say, hey, there's actually a lot of publications here. So we're not going to cover all of them, and what we are going to cover is going to be at a fairly high level review. And let me get my notes. Okay. So this first one is a little interesting in that it is associated with a professional baseball team. And it's sort of an unusual taxing situation as well. Let me actually make it a bit bigger to. How's that? Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay. So we've got this hearing. And again, it looks like it's the 29th hearing in July, but they're just filing it in September because, hey, these go back and forth, and there's like a period to respond, so they're generally a little behind in that way, which is to say they aren't actually behind. Anyway, professional baseball team. The who could this be? There's so many professional baseball teams in Texas, we have no idea. They have a fairly interesting position here. So they have these electricity related charges. And they are saying this specific service associated with it, these T&D charges, if we see them here, let's see. Is that a pyre? Let's find this T&D real quick. T&D. Yeah. Here we go. Here's the core of it. Claimant requested a refund on tax paid for transmission and distribution services billed separately. So taxpayers basically saying, hey, this is separate than the taxable service. It shouldn't be charged tax. Comptroller's office is basically saying, sounds like this is all part of the same sales price. And the ALJ found in support of the Comptroller's office, saying, hey, the claim should be denied. It's interesting. Probably, well, it probably makes sense to continue forward from my perspective, but who knows? So that's the first one. Yeah, that one's more attorney related than individual practice related. Next one. So this is various construction services. Petitioner in compliance, blah, 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 staff referred. We're going to go here. The company represented contentions, offered into evidence. And I'm just going to note this one. So they offered exhibits, but they did not actually file them. They declined to file them. So, not exactly sure why you would do that. It's probably some law thing. I expect they're going to continue this, basically. We have, let's see. Had TC&R contention. What is this? Do not agree to the adjusted. It's apparently removed. So they, I'm just going over my notes. I'm just going to note, hey, some of the interest was removed associated with this. That's one of the few interesting points associated with this hearing. Okay. Next one. I think this is the that we just looked at now. Oh no, this is the third one. This is in oil and gas services. Let's go through. Petitioner did not agree. Petitioner services oil and gas industry. Yeah. So this one is interesting in a number of ways. So we've got a little bit of TC&R associated with it, and they made a number of contentions, and I'm just going to scroll through because the ALJ in their analysis said, okay, direct pay certificates. If you have a situation in which a direct payer declines to provide a certificate, you're supposed to charge tax. That's a general rule. They went further, and they have gone further in a couple STARS documents, basically saying If they fail to claim the direct pay exemption at the time of the sale, they're responsible for this in the sense that the tax in the sense that, okay, if we've got a resale certificate, that exemption can be claimed in the future, as in, oh, I forgot to give you the resale certificate. It sounds like they're saying, well, for direct pays, it's not the exact same. Um, I'll note I generally don't work too much with direct pay type issues, so I'm just saying, hey, that seems a little unusual that it's like that. Uh, Additionally, they noted contention on double taxation. Generally, when a taxpayer brings this up, and it's no different in this one, they are to say, okay, for example, my customer got audited, so they're paying the tax there, and so it shouldn't be due here. Common thing, sometimes it's vendor, it just flips. Uh, if you cannot show that it was actually assessed in an audit and it is like an item scheduled in an audit, the comptroller's office and the ALJ will say, hey, you have not proved it. And so it's usually denied. It was denied here. Out of state sales, out of state sales. Uh, this one, they found some records, and this is generally the easiest to prove in this space because it's generally fairly easy to say, okay, hey, uh, we did ship this out. Why is it easy? Because generally there is some sort of documentation or cost associated with it. So there's an invoice somewhere. It's just getting to that invoice. So that one, hey, they had some updates associated with it. And that's basically it. Yep. So just some minor points associated with that. More just a general thing than anything particularly new. On the case of something that's fairly new, let's go to this 21. Yeah. So looking right here, work clothing, safety apparel, hats, gloves, blah 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 blah, manufacturing machinery. So what we have here is a fast food chain. Petitioner operated fast food restaurants throughout Texas. And so this is specifically associated with hats and visors for employees to wear are work clothing that is exempt. And the comptroller's office, basically, this has happened a couple times this year. This is the most recent iteration of this, and this is the key point here. Uh, Petitioner provided insufficient evidence that those items were necessary and required for the manufacturing process, or they were required to comply with one of those things. If I understand this correctly, the comptroller is taking a kind of a rude position in that it, it needs to be necessary to comply, not is well, it is hard for me to say. It is like there's a bill that requires steel toe boots to be worn. Obviously, if you're buying steel toe boots for your employees, that makes sense. But if it's, hey, you need to have certain kinds of footwear uh, that does X, Y, Z, and I show, hey, we have steel toe boots, you still have to go through the line of saying we have steel toe boots because of X, Y, and Z. That's why it complies. That's what it sounded like did not occur in this. It seemed like this one's going to continue on, so hopefully it'll get its due. Okay, next one. Janitorial, and this is like the third time I've seen something associated with this. I don't know if they were on hold for something, and then they just shot them all through. So I'm just gonna briefly note this is about hospital cleaning services. Maybe you recall reading something about this fairly similar, in which they are making the claim that, hey, that sort of cleaning is non taxable. In a very similar position as the last case, to say, hey, it's necessary to comply with something. Uh, so far, the comptroller's office keeps getting this issue brought up and then denying it. Uh, it seems like something's gonna give on this one. That is what I am expecting here. Okay, this next one. So I've got 25 next. Oh, this one. Yeah. There we go. In my notes, my notes just say this seems extremely disorganized. Uh, and I guess this is why petitioner did not submit an exhibit list, evidentiary exhibits, or argument for the written submission hearing. So they just didn't do anything. Okay, that's why it's a index by tax type only. There's nothing there at all. Uh, Here we've got 24. This is another fast food one, and this one's fairly interesting and novel. We're gonna go to it. So again, this is a. We're gonna continue go. Another fast food place. Very interesting. During the audit, the petitioner explained that they experienced a cyber attack, and some documents that were stored in the accounting system uh, that is no longer used. I'm assuming that they're trying to say, hey, we lost those documents based on this, which interesting. I I don't think I've read that coming up in a sales tax hearing before, so it's novel to see. Yeah, my notation here just says, but that's really the most compelling part. It seemed like they were presenting documentation, and it was uh, just not at the level needed to be to get the exemptions or the deduction slash removal that they wanted to. Which, okay, whatever. Next one, this 12. Internet services broadcasting. So I'm just going to open it up real quick. So this is the 12th hearing in August. And this is a refund request for telecommunications. And look at this is the what I wanted to show. Uh, these were the items, the refund items, a house bill, sampling documentation, engineering drawings, a bunch of this proposal for changes, articles on what the things mean. Like, uh, this is what I see this from time to time when like an engineering firm is trying to comply with a hearings request, and they're just like, oh, here's all these things that could possibly be relevant, and it's fun to see, basically. Beyond that, this is 12. Yeah, beyond that, I don't do anything with telecommunications. I can't really comment on anything here. And then we've got, what are these real quick? They're by again, index by tax type only. I think these were like mixed beverage ones. C store. Yeah, I think they're going to be C store, and we don't have records. Uh, Petitioner operated electrical contractor business. Which one is this? I don't remember this one. Sam 1 assessed additional tax owed on non-residential repairs. Okay. Additional tax owed for 2022 based on an error in calculation rate. Okay. Okay, what is the contention here? Petitioner provided argument and offered the following this. Okay, what was their requested redetermination? Staff referred this by its president. Okay. During the period at issue, operated as an electrical contractor in exam 1. The auditor based this. Do not contest. Okay. In error on materials incorporated on this for. Yeah, this seems like a valid consideration. Yeah. Lacking tax. Okay, so that's what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. So sorry to take a moment there. Again, this is one of the index by tax type only means they didn't provide anything. They said things at most, but they didn't provide anything, so there's nothing to be done. So I'm just going to skip that. And now we've got two notices. I'm going to read this. I'm going to move myself forward a little bit so I'm a bit closer to the screen here. Also going to take a bit of tea. All right. House Bill 135 exempts exotic animals and game animals from sales and use tax. Very interesting. There's been talk associated with exotic animals for at least the last decade, and game animals probably longer than that. So interesting to see that it actually came out. There's these two oyster ones. This is mostly why I wanted to look at this document. Just because this is so unusual to see something like this come through. Deductions for Texas farm-raised oysters. Food service establishments may deduct $5 for every 100 Texas farm-raised oysters purchased. And understand that it's specifically the purchase of the oysters for preparation and service at the establishment from the taxable sales reported on its return. So there obviously isn't something in web file where you can put that number. So it would need to be part of your documentation that you would need to store with your returns. It's interesting. I don't think I've seen them do something like this in a while. And then additionally, we've got this oyster shell recycling. So you can deduct $2 for every 50 pounds of oyster shells collected and then put into these recycling bins. So not only do you get a deduction for selling it, you also get, or for buying the items, you also get a deduction basically for selling the items. It's very interesting. So this helps like 2 restaurants. It helps like a couple oyster farms in Texas. Okay, very interesting. Change it. This next one changes the tax holiday date. Okay, it matters when that occurs. Repeal of the sales tax exemption for certain property. This matters a lot to a very few number of people, and I am not one of them. But this is very either dire or great, depending on who you are, what you're doing. Next one, removal of internet access services from the list of taxable services. And literally it does that. It just strikes it from the list of taxable services here. So that is one of two. The next one, fireworks. They sort of changed the dates, if I recall correctly, regarding fireworks. Fireworks sold from here previously allowed more than this, blah, blah, blah. They made some change. It doesn't really matter. Oh, interesting. Allows fireworks sales 5 days before Lunar New Year. And Juneteenth. Okay. Fireworks sales to the public by retail fireworks firm on certain dates. On the day after. This one is fairly interesting. And I'm going back up because I don't think I saw it anywhere. Yeah. This bill is effective for exactly 1 day. July 5th, 2026. It expires September 1st, 2026. SB 996 allows fireworks sales for 1 day. Specifically, yeah, and it's 24 hours. Okay. I don't know why they're. I guess no one was like, oh, this is a bad idea. This isn't a waste of everyone's time. Everyone just let it pass. Okay. I think that is close to it. No, there's still a bit more. We have this letter, and I think this is a fun one. But let me double check my spot here, because I think my numbers got a bit off. So 17 hearing is here, and then 27 is here. Hey, didn't I catch this one? Hold on. I apologize. So we had the notices, then we had 29. Oh, did I jump ahead? Yeah, 29. This one is associated with just a C-store or liquor store where it's all that allegations but no documentation. 28H. Okay. So this one I thought was a little interesting, but only a little interesting. It's a subsidiary of this company that specializes in privatized for-profit corrections and detention facilities and mental health treatment facilities. I wonder what major case they were waiting on before making any sort of statement associated with this hearing. Yeah, this one's for lawyers. This is not for me. Next one. We've got... Man, I sort of goofed this around. This is the jewelry cases, and I thought this was a bit funny. They made this big notation that, hey, really, we need to make a clarification on this professional corporation besides instead of professional association. Very interesting that's like one of the first things written here. And this is a sort of interesting scenario. Okay. Petitioner sold jewelry and other things through all these things. That doesn't matter. And I'm just getting up here. Petitioner purchased the jewelry boxes separately. The jewelry boxes are varying designs, varying materials, and they are for showing the jewelry advantageously in the home. I like to show things advantageously in my home. Generally, the more expensive the jewelry, the more expensive the box. Okay, sure. Petitioner billed the cost of the jewelry to the customers without separately stating the cost of the box, like you would expect. Like would be done in basically every single scenario. Like, what is it? Like Apple products tend to have cool boxes, and it's like, oh, unpacking this is so fun and cool. They don't charge you for the box. That's a little unusual. Petitioner further explained that it considered listing the price of the box separately, but determined that the individual cost of the majority boxes was too low to justify it. It's a little odd to have this notation. And where is it? There is a specific line that determined this is it. The auditor determined the jewelry boxes as purchases of complimentary gifts given to the customer. So the petitioner was the end user of the jewelry boxes. One of the most insane things that I've heard just based on this. They go through the reasoning, and I hope these people are going to court. That's basically it. I think the comptroller and the ALJ are being ridiculous. And then this, the last thing, this letter, facts presented. This one's they have a fairly interesting business model. Partners with fuel stops who want to get truck drivers, operators, so you can buy discounted fuels if you go to these places, and you have a free app to do it. Okay, so you have this sort of like commissiony marketing sort of mechanism, and so it goes through all these things. Question: is the taxpayer's fee to the fuel stops on the total discounted fuel app taxable? It's taxable data processing. I get it. It seemed like they were shrinking the definition a little bit, but this seems just like I don't know why you're making this into a data processing service, because it's listing all of this data. It doesn't do any of this. Yeah. The short of this is just another one of the, hey, if you need a letter that says the state's being a bit ridiculous on data processing, that's it. Okay, so that's everything. And apologies for that cough there. That's everything for this month. Overall, I mean, nothing too new. Some interesting things. Beyond that, that is everything. I'll see you in the next video.